Bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to another review. Today I'm going to be talking about The Instant of the Fingerpost by Ian Pierce, which I kind of contemplated whether to put as a regular review or as a retro review, but I end up putting it as a regular review because I feel it's not famous enough to be considered a classic. But before I tell you anything about the book, do I have the deal for you? I partner up with Audible, who are willing to give you guys 30 days free trial to try out their audiobooks. What you do is that you go to the link that's in the description box, like the first thing that you see in the description box. You go there, you sign up, and then you get 2 free audiobooks to try out. If you listen to the 2 and you realize that you want more, you can continue the subscriptions by paying only $14.95 a month. You will get 1 free audiobook every month, 2 Audible originals, and 30% off of every additional audiobook that you want to buy. And they have everything there. They have fiction, they have non-fiction, they have old books, they have new books, they have like every genre you can think of. Anyway, give them a try after finishing this video, of course. And the best thing is that you can always cancel. No strings attached, no fee, just, try it out if you like it or not. And even I get a little something out of it. So you're also helping this channel. Now let's go back to The Instant of the Fingerpost, which is, by the way, also available in Audible in case you want to check it out as an audiobook. So this book takes place in the 1600s in Oxford University and is an account of events surrounding the mysterious death of a staff member. However, there are a bunch of other things going on there. And what's unique about this book is that it's told 4 times. It has 4 different protagonists, each one telling his own story from his point of view. And to just conclude very generally, this is a really, really good book. Good old classic, absolutely wonderful. I just generally enjoy this book so much. It's a little difficult for me to really pinpoint what I liked about it. However, I will make an effort and try to tell you a little bit more about, the positives and also the negatives, but just take this kind of general recommendation to heart. This is really, really, really good book. The first thing that you need to know is that it is not actually a murder mystery, despite the story being kind of surrounding the death of the staff member. In fact, one of the least interesting thing about the book was finding out who the murderer was. Although we do find out eventually, but don't worry about it. There are enough other intriguing mysteries in the book. There's even one plot twist toward the end that really caught me off guard. Now, the book does take place at the 17th century, as I mentioned, and there is the whole historical background of the war and King Charles and Oliver Cromwell. And quite frankly, I think that I could have benefited more from this book have I known a little bit more about the history. They do kind of explain certain things. I did get the gist of it, but as I said, I think I could have benefited a little more and understand in depth a little more of who's against who and why do people hate each other. As I said, I did get the idea of it, but I didn't get the depth of it. So if you do have the opportunity, make sure you know a little bit of background. Second, I found it fascinating just how different all 4 stories are and how the author utilized this storytelling technique. The narrators barely tell the same story twice, and each protagonist has his own little story arc. However, when they do tell the same story, they sometimes so differ from one another, they can be contradicting because every character sees it with a different set of eyes and with a different set of morals, and therefore interpret the scene completely differently, which creates contradictions at some points, which led me to believe that even though I'm reading an account in first person from, a narrator that I kind of followed for a while, so I automatically trust him, I couldn't help but feeling that maybe what I'm reading are total lies. This is taking the unreliable narrator trope to a totally different level, and it's utilized so brilliantly here because we are talking about people who are trying to find out who murdered a certain person. However, as always, there were a few things that I didn't like all that much about the book. As happens many times with books like these, which are told from different points of view, not all stories or protagonists were equally interesting. Actually, most of them were really unlikable. Although I found it really interesting to see how differently they interpret the same scenes, it was pretty difficult to go through some parts of the book, especially the third narrator, which was absolutely obnoxious. But to compensate, the fourth one was my favorite. However, as I said, not all parts of the book are equally interesting, and as much as I was fascinated with some parts were really difficult to get through. In addition, I feel like I do need to put a little bit of a trigger warning here. This book takes place in the 17th century. This is a time where women were considered very inferior to men and were expected to know their place. To say that women are mistreated in this book will be an understatement. There is even a rape scene in this book, and even though it's not really described in great detail, it's still there, and to make things worse, the rapist then completely justifies his actions and blamed the woman for the ordeal and saying that she should have known that he deserve to have sex. This is by no means a difficult book to read from that point of view, but it's still there, especially because a huge subplot in this book is about a woman and how mistreated she was by all protagonists. But what was interesting was how she was mistreated by each one of them, considering that some of them refer to themselves as her friends and really see themselves as really positive people, even though from my point of view and our modern point of view, we realize that she was really being mistreated. So to conclude, this is a really good book. Just go ahead and read it. Or you know what? Better yet, go down to the description box, log into Audible, and listen to the Instant of Fingerpost as an audiobook as part of your free book deal. But yeah, the conclusion is simply this is a really, really good book. If you kind of missed reading, it's like really old school kind of deep writing, then go ahead and check this book out. Some people also compared it to The Name of the Rose, which I haven't read. I've seen the movie, but I really get why these two are compared. But yeah, full-heartedly, I recommend The Instant of the Fingerpost. And that's it for my review, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to click like to show it. Also subscribe to my channel if you dare, and suggest in the comment section which classic I should review next in my retro review series. And if you have no idea what it is, check out my channel. I have a playlist where I just review classics because they are important, and there is a reason why people are still reading them after all these years. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. Go check out Audible, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.